Right, so we spoke about obviously the mainstream media at the very beginning, and one of the big reasons the day that was highlighted on Twitter was because of a ridiculous article done about Nikola Katic, about how he's now unwanted by Rangers. Rangers want to ship him out and get rid of him. Alan, what absolute and complete and utter total bollocks.
Yeah, I believe it's crap. I know there's people came out and says Katic was well in the pecking order. He might very well be, but it's only because he's not played football for over a year now. We need to give him time to get back to full fitness, match fitness, and that's why I believe he'll go out on loan. I think there'll be a short-term loan deal. I think it'll be in Scotland because I think Gerrard will want to keep close tabs on him. And he needs to get up to the physical standard of Scottish football. But that story in the press, and I also saw before we came on, I was having a look, I also saw another story that I can't remember who the source was, but the source was saying Katic's agent was in Glasgow last week, but allegedly the conversation was that he is part of Rangers' plans. I'll go back to what I said in my rant at the start of the pod. I don't believe a word that's printed in some of these newspapers. I like Katic, I'll be honest with you, I like him. I think I don't think we have a centre back that's a complete package. We don't have one centre back that offers everything, but they all offer something different. And I think Katic might not be the greatest football player in the world, but his physicality, he's good in the air. And I think we need somebody like that because I'm not convinced other centre backs fit that bill. But then you've got people like Balogun that offer pace.
Listen, Alan,
consistency.
Harry Maguire isn't the full package. And he cost Manchester United 80, 90 million or whatever it was they paid for him. Rangers can't afford players who are the full package. How many times have you heard it said, if Hadji had pace, he wouldn't be at Rangers? Because we can't afford these players now. Jamie, I'm sorry, and I don't ever want to speak negatively about a Rangers player. I really, really don't. But nobody's going to convince me that Jack Simpson is a better option than Katic. Nobody's going to convince me of that.
He struggled the other night. It was a bit uncomfortable watching that at times, to be honest, man.
He hasn't had a lot of football, right? And that, you know what I mean? So I have to put that across because I don't like to slag any Rangers players. It's not the way I like to go. But if you told me we're playing Celtic next week, all your defenders are injured, it's Goldson and it's either Nikola Katic or Jack Simpson, I'm sorry, I'm picking Katic.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if I would be picking Katic right now, to be fair, because he's not any. He'll be anywhere near a sort of fitness, and I'd be really, really disappointed if Katic is sitting wherever he lives in the Itten now, saying I'm raging or I'm disappointed. I want to move. He's just. We've just seen him through. I know he's contracted, but we've just seen him through a really major injury. Probably one of the worst injuries a footballer can get. So I'd be really disappointed if he didn't understand that he needs to maybe go somewhere and go on loan. I understand the pride in a player that would say, no, I'll show you, I'll get into that team. It's not as easy as that when you've been out that long. Jack Simpson won, but he did start against. Did he not? He did start against Celtic last season at one point anyway. Did he not? But he struggled and it was uncomfortable viewing. And I feel sorry for the boy. The only thing I think about when I watch Jack Simpson, he looks like one of these young centre halves who's came up through that under 23s, in it, and they've been pampered all their days. And it doesn't seem rugged enough, and he'll get ragdolled about in Scotland. And he might be perfect playing down south. But in Scottish Prem, fast, rapid, ragdolls. Oh, man, imagine like a big Kyle-style striker up against him. Jeez, oh man, they would just eat him alive. He'd be whimpering in the corner and that. So I don't want to criticise him either, but it wasn't comfortable viewing the other night. He looked, but then I don't know, man. I know we played really, really well, but I still thought Goldson had a few nervy moments again. So maybe this is all rubbing off on this young guy as well. But look at him against Scott Wright. Both came in January last year. Look at the difference of Scott Wright to Jack Simpson, man. Scott Wright's took it on and stepped up. Simpson looks like he's struggling just now, but then the whole defence looks dodgy a wee bit, other than the two boys out wide, fullback there Friday.
Aye, it's just that, and like I say, and I repeat myself, I don't ever want to speak negatively about a Rangers player. But for me, no, I haven't seen anything from Simpson that fills me with the confidence. And look, again, and I hope it happens, he could just overnight change and become a world-class centre-back. You know what I mean? I mean,
Craig Moore, there's one that done that.
Listen, do you know what I mean? And if it does happen, I'll be the happiest guy. And again, I'll go and stand at the Copeland and he can come and punch me in the face. You know what I mean?
That's us getting 2 hits at you.
I know. And you know what? All the guys on the rabble can get a punch in and all.
To be fair, I think Jack Simpson's too soft to fling a punch.
So Katic has gone nowhere apart from possibly out on loan. He's not leaving Rangers. There's no chance he's leaving Rangers. Could Alan, and I'm just about to contradict everything I've just said, could Itten possibly be leaving Rangers? Bam. I thought Roof was phenomenal, and I don't care if it's only Dunfermline. Roof looked like on a different planet for every other person on that park, apart from Kamara. The Roof was outstanding, but Itten got no minutes. Does Gerrard have faith in him?
I think that faith is the faith that he did have is dwindling. Look, we all know Morelos is the first choice centre forward. Roof's very close behind him, in my opinion. I like Roof. The issue with Roof is keeping him fit for 20, 25, 30 games a season. Cedric Itten, I think he's struggled to settle in at Rangers. He's been here a year now. It's maybe a bit unfair because he's never had a proper run in the team. To my memory, he's never played 6 or 7 games in a row and settled into the system and had a chance to develop. But then who does it, Rangers? You need to hit the ground running because that's what we expect as fans, to win every game. He has good games every now and again. We've saw it in the league, we've saw it in Europe, we saw it in friendlies and pre-season. So he is capable of having good games, but it's that consistency. He's, as I said, he's welded the pecking order for me. He's probably third choice, and Jermaine Defoe would be fourth choice at the minute at centre forward. So I think a big part of Cedric Itten's future is going to be decided in the next couple of weeks with what happens with Alfredo Morelos. If Morelos goes, we probably can't afford to get rid of Itten as well without bringing in another centre forward. If Morelos stays, Itten could probably be on his way out the door because we've got 2 other strikers behind Morelos that are capable of coming in short term and playing, in that position. As I say, I feel sorry for him. I don't think he's had a good run at the team. He came in, he didn't move far relatively in terms of world travel. He moved from Switzerland to Scotland, but he came without his family to start with. COVID became a thing, so that might have struggled. That might have had an impact on him settling in. But for me, he's not done enough since he came in. When he has had a chance, he has to show more consistency. It's not to say he's a bad player, but maybe Rangers, maybe Glasgow just isn't the fit for him. Maybe just doesn't work.
Listen, I mean, it's a hard one, Jamie, right? Because say what you want about pre-season, top goal scorer on pre-season, and then he's come into the competitive games. He started against Malmo, I think. Did he start against Malmo? So he's had one start. Surely in one start, Gerrard hasn't seen something in him that he's went, nah, I'm not having him.
I think Gerrard's it's from all last season as well, innit? And he's seen him in training every single day. So for me, he's never a £3.5 million striker. I don't think we can afford to be throwing about £3.5 million. And I think when we signed him at that point, was it last January? Was that a year ago, wasn't it? No, sorry.
I'm sure it was £3.5 million. I'm sure.
It was in January, wasn't it? Last January?
No, it was the summer he came in the same day as Roof.
So he did, yeah. So Gerrard's had his chance to work with him and see him. I just think he's also for me, a Jack Simpson style attacker, this new age football player that's pampered and fucking snowflake material and not hard enough for Scottish football, and he'll score, and he does from time to time look nice and cultured and can bring the ball down and bring people into play, but he's just quite clumsy and a bit slow. And for me, this season, it's for me, we buy a guy for £3.5 million. What do we do with him? Like, we almost, if Morelos leaves, he almost needs to play, because why are we spending this money on a boy that we're not going? And if we get rid of him, who's going to take him? What are we going to? How do we get rid? How do we ship a guy like who's probably in a four-year deal? He is young. That's the only saving grace. There could be more to come from him if he gets last year out the way, COVID-wise, get his girlfriend over or whatever. Fucking stop shut his Instagram down or whatever he wants to do, but just concentrate on
Aye,
football.
that was horrendous. That was
That's
horrendous. Having a go at the guy. Sorry, Jamie, the way the fans jumped on top of him, and when I say the fans, that sounds like I'm generalising it for everybody, but the way a few fans jumped on top of him for liking something that he probably didn't even mean to like.
Nah,
Right.
Martin, I'm going for you with this one. I don't think that's that. They'll call me a Rangers dad. No matter, I'm a Rangers dad. I'm also.
So am I.
He liked a fucking picture of a Celtic player celebrating a hat trick. Fuck off! No way,
Did he
man.
like it, or was he
That's
scrolling
disgusting.
through?
Oh, come on, the chestnut, the slap of the thumb. You might get away with that, you know, one of them ones, but
I've done it before on Twitter.
No,
scrolling through.
No, listen, come on. If you don't understand that rivalry, and we've all got pals that are Celtic fans, and it's a 90-minute thing, and it can go longer than that. Right. But that's not right. That's not right, man. That was not right. And okay, might have made a mistake. He's peace, man. That for me was almost like I struggle with him at the best. I think when I seen that, I was just like, that's just typifying. He does not understand where he is, and that's why Glasgow might be the wrong place for him, because I don't want to see that.
Listen, I don't want to see that either. But I want to give the guy the benefit of the doubt because I'm a nicer person than you, right? And I like it. I think he's got all the potential to be a cracking striker, and I really don't want us to give up on him. But I mean, if Gerrard knows, obviously, Gerrard knows more about football, and he's left Torham what I do in my whole body. So, Alan, do you see him going? Are we just making too much of this? What do you think is going to happen?
It could be a bit of both.
And Jamie's a dick.
And Jamie's a dick. It could be a bit of both. I wonder sometimes if the system we play doesn't suit Cedric Itten. He's a bit of a physical lad. Is he the type of player that, going back to the dream scenario, the Hateley McCoy kind of thing, is he the kind of lad that works better with a partner? He can bring the ball down, he can battle for the ball, knock it onto somebody that's going to, put the ball in the back of the net for 6 yards 25 times a season. So is it that we just don't play the right system for him? And if that's the case, why was he brought in the first place? But sometimes I get that impression sometimes. And as I say, the big question is, will he stay, will he go? It will depend massively on what happens with Alfie in the next couple of weeks.
Listen, if Alfie goes, regardless, we need to bring somebody else in.
Yeah,
absolutely.
There's no striker at the club apart from Roof that's as good as Alfie.
Well, I never thought Roof would be that central option. I always thought he would be out, but now, after, I know it's only the firm, we keep saying that caveat, that it doesn't matter. He can play through the middle, and he played through the middle all his days prior to this anyway. But so I feel a wee bit better about that. If Morelos did go, well, we have Roof there. Then does Itten become your second man, and then Sakala, Wright, Kent are around about them? Perhaps, maybe you don't, maybe we don't, but I still probably think we do need to bring somebody in. But aye.
I'm not even going to ask you, Jamie, whether he's going to be here or no, because you've clearly got a vendetta against the poor guy.
So. No, listen, I don't, because he's only a young guy. I want it to work for him. I've seen some wee flashes, all right stuff. He's going against Motherwell as a belter, but he's not a bastard like John's saying in the comments. He's not hard. I just don't know. I don't know. I'm not. Jury's out for me with that one.
Well, do you know, for years, right, up until I was about 17, I didn't know what that meant. I thought that the jury was out meant that you'd made up your mind. I didn't realise it meant they were still deliberating in the wee room.
Still decided.
You know what I mean? I know that. I'm 32. I know that now, Jamie. You know what I mean?
You're 32? Fuck, I'm 40 next year.
What a paper round you've had.